Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so excited to be spending a few minutes with you to talk about our product update, the AI Agent Action. For those of you I haven't met yet, my name is Kelly, and I'm the head of product marketing here at Times. And we've been hard at work these last few weeks, so I'm excited to share with y'all what we've been building, give a little context on AI and Times generally, where it was before today, and then jump into the update with you, talk through some example use cases, how it's packaged, and then get into the competitive mix as well. But most importantly, we want to leave some time at the end so that we can go through any of y'all's questions and really address that as well. So let's dive straight in, shall we? All right, AI and Times. Over the last year, we spent a lot of time reinforcing the core of AI and Times, which is that your customers' data and workflows is private and secure always. All of our AI features are tenant scoped, private, in-region, and stateless. We guarantee we're not training, storing, or logging information customers are passing through our AI features. I'm saying this because it's a point of pride for us, and it's something that we're not changing with this update or any future update. And what's built on this private and secure infrastructure today there are three core things. Our automatic mode, which is the ability to transform data, really those gnarly data transformations that customers have to do. This helps them write code based on the prompt they do. And then when data passes through that action, it is properly formatted without any complications. And then the next thing is our AI action type. This came shortly after automatic mode. This is where customers are able to run an LLM within the context of their workflow. Some primary use cases here were formatting data for cases or summarizing information that happened upstream and providing a recommendation and helping them format the pages that they're building. So it's pretty powerful on its own, but it was still very much deterministic in its implementation. So the workflow wasn't changing based on the outcomes of the action, but it was helping it progress in a more structured way. And then lastly was Workbench. Workbench is the Times-powered AI chat interface, or really commonly a co-pilot. It helps someone, as I like to say, really in the work, doing their job. They're able to go into Workbench and chat with the Workbench bot there and maybe interact with workflows, investigate an incident, or really do anything that they would want to interact with across their storyboard and data. So those are the three features as they existed today. And what's also unique is that we make sure that with all things in Times, that it's on their terms, on the customer's terms. So whether they wanted to use our out-of-the-box models provided by AWS Bedrock or bring their own model, they could do what's best for them. And again, this is all private and secure for customers in the ways that they're interacting with the product, whether it's using our model or through their own model. And the update to the AI action type is no different. We're still allowing that flexibility because we still believe it's essential for our customer base, our shared customer base. So let's talk a little bit about this evolution of the AI action type. If you were paying attention to our LinkedIn today or your inbox, you saw an email about this, and we're pretty excited that the AI action type has now evolved into the AI agent action. This means that this is the primary AI action on the storyboard. And what it does is it gives customers the ability to design and distribute agents across their workflows and within their workflows. When we talk about agents in the market, it seems to be everywhere, and it's software that can autonomously think and perform tasks on behalf of the user. This is something you all know. And when we were looking at Times and how we wanted to implement any type of agentic workflow into the product, we knew we wanted to be mindful of the fact that the definition within a company and how they're practically applying it can vary. And so much like our workflows, we didn't want to force customers into some definition. Instead, we wanted to give them the tools to tailor and design the agents themselves. So they're able to bring on the AI agent action to the storyboard and then give it access and give it the power that it needs and that they're comfortable with to perform the different actions that they would like. And this is actually a place where we really feel it's an opportunity for you, our partners, with your expertise and your thought leadership, can plug in with customers. You're able to really guide them with your awareness of like their broader tech stack and what their business objectives are. You're able to guide them as to where it would make sense for agents because you understand exactly what else they're trying to accomplish. And so this could lead to the broader adoption of not only Times itself, but also the tools that you've already sold them or help other implementations go more efficiently, or maybe even a little bit of both. I guess my point is that with the AI agent action, there are going to be far more opportunities than even what I'm going to cover today. And it's really open for that interpretation that y'all have with your customers as well. And obviously, we will always put stuff in the library with our labs team that are some templates that people can start from. Okay, now with that worldview under wraps, let's go to the feature itself. As mentioned, this is an update to our AI agent action, or our AI action into the AI agent action. It's a natural evolution. It lies directly on the storyboard, as you see here, and it's something that you or the builders can configure, and where you can provide a prompt for the action before it progresses with two types of engagement. There is the opportunity to help it reason and complete tasks, which would be the first mode of tasks, and then they can also be involved in end user chats, which is the second mode. Now we can get into these a little bit to help you guys understand why they're different from the AI action today. So with both modes, at the base level, they're able to leverage tools. This is something that didn't exist before. And similar to tools in Workbench, if you're familiar with Workbench, these grant the agent context and reference points to make decisions and reason, like we were saying on the slide before. Because it's on the storyboard, the builder themselves is the one choosing, okay, do I want this group of actions to be accessible to the agent action? Do I want these workflows to be accessible? Or maybe do I want to pull on some of these action templates that are available so that the agent can interact with different systems and pull data from those systems to make a decision? Really, those tools are giving it the context to decide what it should do next. Then we're particularly excited about this, the chat aspect of this, where we're able to build, or when a builder pulls on the AI action onto the storyboard, they can choose the chat mode. And then this will auto-generate an end interface for a user within your tenant to be able to chat with that agent. So this is really, really cool because you're defining the agent and what it can do all in the same box that then generates the page. So you're not having to go somewhere else. And it empowers the builder or the organization to really unlock immense efficiencies and reduce barriers in teams in a really controlled environment for AI agents at scale. So we're saying build and define a lot because that's what's so important. We believe so deeply that having really black box agents isn't going to benefit anyone because the unique needs of businesses vary. So yes, there can be a template or an outline people can follow, but getting in there and customizing it is going to be really important for their success. So much like our belief in workflows, we believe that workflows are best owned by the people they affect. We believe agents are best distributed and built by the organizations using them every day and interacting with them. So that's, again, why we're not launching some analyst agent for folks. We're saying, hey, here's the ability to build agents and equip different, maybe you want to have multiple analysts and you want to have them set up for different activities. Because we're not forcing a definition on you or your customers, we're giving them, both of y'all, the tools to build what's best for the different situations you might be having. And we're going to, again, provide those examples to the team, and we encourage y'all to provide examples to customers as well, and figuring out the right prescribed approach for your audience and what they're trying to achieve. Okay, so we talked about what they are. We talked about how we see them in the broader context of the market. So now I just want to take a quick second to cover what they can do, because the possibilities are pretty endless, but on the whole, they're able to make decisions based on those inputs, the tooling that the customer is configuring for them. And from those tools, they can then adapt based on that context. So moving from those more deterministic workflows that are traditional to Times and any workflow provider into the agentic. So they're able to decide, hey, do we want this to run completely autonomously? Would we prefer if it is part of an existing workflow and interacting autonomously with those workflows? They're really in the driver's seat there, which plays into our mindset of giving the builder that control. And then, of course, you can distribute it. So being able to take those AI chats that they're building with the agent and distributing them through their organization or through their teams that have access to Times is definitely another opportunity. And again, I use the example of a tier 1 analyst who maybe is in onboarding, but you want to let them have an impact. You can use agents as a way to say, hey, here, you can start working through some of our backlog, but we're not ready to give you full access to Tines until you've completed your onboarding or met some security requirements. So that's what it can do. And then just to recap the actual features in the AI action type now are task mode and chat mode with the ability to add tools. The task mode is really creating this, you're building your own agent. And then the chat mode is being able to distribute agents that you build to your customer base. And what's cool is, and when you're thinking about, okay, what else could they be building? You really could look at anything that they're building within the storyboard itself and say, okay, here, where would it make sense to apply an agent in this workflow, or could it be replaced by it? Now, it's not going to make sense in all situations because you just simply don't want things running autonomously at all times. So figuring out what's best for the company that you're working with will be smart here. And we'll give some tips on that on the next couple of slides. Okay, so getting into use cases and how you might be applying it. As I said, and I'm going to repeat myself a few times in order to help y'all retain some of these messages because it's a lot of information, but that there are two real purposes for the AI agent action. One is to bring humans, create those custom agents on the storyboard that your workflow is going to interact with. And the second is bringing humans into the loop where you need to, and allowing them to interact with the agent. Again, when you're thinking about this in the context of your customer, as the trusted advisor, you can coach them into how this looks for their business, given what you know about it. But practically speaking, we'd be remiss not to cover a couple of use cases for the two core audiences we spend time with, both y'all and Tines. So if you're working with some IT ops accounts, some initial ways you could look at implementing agents could be for access requests or end user self-service portals, maybe, or even patch orchestration. And we'll have some examples of this in the library for y'all over the coming days. We also think about our security operations team relentlessly, of course, and we're thinking through how are we seeing ways that security teams can modernize how they're approaching maybe phishing response or employee monitoring or vulnerability management, where the workflows themselves can sometimes blow up to be very massive to account for all the different variables. And there are opportunities where you could potentially be more efficient in adding in an agent and then accounting for variables that maybe aren't known today. So again, it's this, but it could also be tens of hundreds of other ways you can apply them as we get in and use the product. And as you're using it and talking about it with customers, I'm sure new opportunities will surface that we can apply agents to. This is just a starting point. Now, when you think of tens of hundreds of opportunities that you could build this on, it's like, wait, how do I even decide where agents would make sense, right? So in times we're talking about it in the terms of the deterministic workflow and the agentic workflow. The deterministic being those linear workflows that exist today. They're very rules-based. They run the same way every time. You know the inputs and the data changes that need to be made. You want it done the same way every instance that the workflow runs. And then on the other side, you have the agentic, where you're a little bit more flexible, where it's okay if the output variables change each time because you're expecting that to happen. So when thinking through which type for which situation, and when you're thinking through and talking about it with your customers, we encourage you to think about it through the lens of risk tolerance, right? If you're talking to someone and they're very risk averse, or the process that you're talking about is very risk averse, and it's absolutely critical that it has to be performed the same way every single time, agents aren't going to be a good fit for that. That's the case where you really want to have those deterministic workflows. You want it to perform the same way every time. You want to have that audit of it. You want to know that given a certain input, it will produce this certain output, and it's going to be very fast and cost effective as well. But then if you're dealing with a workflow where it's not as big of a challenge, if it performs slightly differently each time, that's where your agent might make more sense. Another thing to consider is how opinionated are you about how that process is performed? If you have a super strong opinion that the process should be formed a particular way, similar to the risk tolerance piece, you're not going to want to use an agent for that. If it needs to go in this specific order with access to only these tools and only these specific cases, then again, that's a deterministic workflow. But if you're dealing with a lot of maybe unstructured data, or it's something relatively low risk, or you're comfortable with output being slightly different, that's where agents are going to be perfect. It's going to be a great place to implement and deploy something really quickly. And then you can also, of course, observe how it's performing. And then that would be able to run on its own, and you're comfortable with that. So those are the two of the ways, I should say, not the only two ways that we're encouraging you to look at and deciding between deterministic and agentic. We also have provided in the partner portal some best practices on evaluating this. So some questions that you can ask a customer, some questions you can ask yourself about how you might be wanting to do this. So we encourage y'all to look at that as well. But again, as you have more customer conversations, as we have more customer conversations, we're all going to be learning together on what we can be doing here for different situations. And it's going to be a very cool evolution, I think, in what the use cases map out to be. Awesome. So the last thing here on this use case sections, of course, this launched today. We don't have metrics on the impact of the specific feature, but we do know from the market directionally what this is looking like. And AI adoption is growing, and agents are a massive opportunity to increase that value. It's not only agentic products that can benefit from this, but any software that's plugged into those agentic products. And so thinking about these times, like using AI, oh, it can be a tongue twister, huh? The AI agent action in workflows is a great opportunity to be connecting and serving as glue between the different softwares that you've sold to your customers or planning to sell to your customers, because it's a way to increase the time to value or increase the stickiness or increase the usage of different products because it has better connectivity overall. Yeah, as a result, it can help both the critical teams that we're helping who've been a little bit more reluctant to adopt AI agents, but it can also help teams that are rapidly trying to scale it in your organization. So maybe those front of house areas as well in the terms of IT and security are bought in. And so they're reducing friction between your teams, between other teams and them, which is great in any business. Okay, so on to the thing that always gets everyone's ears perked up, which is packaging. And we're pretty excited about the way we've approached packaging for AI agents. Our worldview is, again, something I want to repeat for y'all, is that AI and automation are really two sides of the same coin. And when we've sat down and thought about it, to decouple them does a disservice to the customer. We believe that AI is rapidly evolving and becoming a commodity and an expectation of products. It's nearly unacceptable at this point for a product not to offer some form of LLM integration or some form of agentic offering. And so that's how we approach the pricing and packaging of these features. And to demonstrate this, I also want to give you all a glimpse in this view of full spectrum AI deployment, where when we were sitting down talking through how does this fit within our product, like we do whenever we're thinking about packaging, we realized that, well, AI in the product exists on this spectrum, right? Where we have these self-service apps and portals that customers can be building with a high degree of human interaction, but a low degree of LLM control. That's before the AI agent today. So thinking pages and apps that customers are using, to the deterministic workflows that you know and love in Tines, or I hope you know and love in Tines. And then our universal copilot, which goes to use AI a lot more, right? So they're chatting with Workbench, and Workbench is pulling information from their workflows and passing it back to them so they can take action. Again, still humans being in the loop there, but not necessarily as much. There's a lot more LLM interaction happening. And then to the AI agent action, which is, again, we're giving a lot more control to the product, and we're reducing human interaction significantly. So when we sat and we looked at this and we were talking about it, and the more we told this story, we realized that this is actually all core together. It's not deterministic workflows are core to Tines. It's not self-service apps are part of the base offering. It's that all of these are part of that base offering. These are things that any workflow platform should be offering out of the box, because this is the future. This is the way work flows, right? So I'm sure maybe you deduced I was going to say this. We're recoupling these features into the platform license. So the AI action type and Workbench are now going to be part of our Workflow Essentials offering from here forward, and included on every plan. Something I don't want us to be confused on or misunderstand about each other. This isn't free. We're not suddenly devaluing this offering. What we're saying is this is table stakes. This is essential. It is something that everyone should be demanding of their workflow provider, and it shouldn't be coming at an add-on cost just to get access to something. Now, I'm sure that there are deals in flight and there's conversations that you'll be needing to have with your partner sales managers, and they're excited to talk to y'all. But we do really believe this is the right decision. We believe it's forward-looking to the very near future where it's no longer acceptable for these things to be an added cost to customers to be even just interacting with them on the most basic level. So that is something we're really excited about. It's also something that plays pretty nicely into talking about our competitive differentiation, because it's probably the biggest differentiating factor between us and them is this worldview. So I'm not going to get into specific competitors today. I think everyone gets enough airtime on their own. I'm going to focus on the high level, what makes Tines unique and the Tines approach to our AI agent action unique. So when we were approaching this and when we were talking about how we wanted to bring it to market, when we were talking about how we wanted it to be used in the real world, we were reflecting a lot on conversations that our team has had with our customers, but also with y'all. Y'all have been such a window into the market, into like, okay, what are other people doing? What's working or not working about it? What problem can we solve that other people aren't thinking about solving? And so I hope that came across in the previous slides. I'm probably going to repeat a lot of what you already saw, but the idea is to reinforce here. And so we took that feedback, we took those points that you shared with us and those insights, and that's how we came to the product that you saw today. That's how we came to what makes it unique. So basically, again, to reiterate the packaging, it's essential. It's practically a commodity that we're all using in our everyday lives. So the packaging it as an add-on or as a separate from the automation and workflow product is wrong in our eyes. And so that's why it's going to be there for you from day one. If you would like it, you can always disable features, and it's not going to be an add-on. The next thing is, again, playing to the core of Tines in the fact that we don't believe that work flows very well when people can't see behind the hood. And so an area of strength is that it's transparent, but with the feeling of being bespoke, without any of that complexity. So it's not a black box you can't modify or adjust to the unique needs of the business. Your customers will get in there from day one. They'll be able to make it their own, and they'll have the tools both from you, from our library, from our team to get started and be really successful. So again, that ability to tailor the agents, not being stuck with our definition, is again another differentiating point. And then we talked about autonomy and control, and this can go through a few different lenses, right? The autonomy for the builder themselves to build and do what they need to do in the product and build the agents that they want, but also giving the agents the autonomy needed so that they can run their workflows, so they can run a workflow or run a few workflows as you permit it. And then at the same time, the control, and control is so important. We're powering the world's most important workflows. We're not taking that lightly in any way. And so making sure controls are in place so that customers can determine, okay, what exactly do I want this agent to be able to access? And really importantly, what don't I want it to be able to access? What prompts should it follow? What are the rules that we can put in place for it? And then let's run it. Let's put it into action. Let's get that benefit and that efficiency. And so we took something that could, as we tend to do, and I'm partial, I know, but we took something that could be very complicated and made sure that it was intuitive without losing sight of the fact that the information that customers are doing in Tines and the workflows that they're trying to process are sensitive and they are critical. And so we made sure to balance both of those in the offering that's out today. So before we jump into questions, I have two more plugs. One of them is, you may have noticed we did not do a demo today, and that's because when we were planning this event, we realized an hour isn't enough time to cover, one, the messaging, the story we're trying to tell, the differentiation we want you guys to walk away with, and your questions, as well as a product demo. So it's not that you're not getting one. There's going to be a product spotlight with Stephen O'Brien on July 9th. He's hosting this exclusive event for partners and customers where he's going to showcase the product itself, show some real world applications of it as well, and really get into the nitty gritty of it. And I think get y'all really excited. He did the demo for me last week and I was really pumped. So I'm very excited for the opportunity for y'all to join this event. The link to register is actually in the chat for you all. And it's also a great opportunity for you to register, not only for yourself, but maybe bring a customer with you or encourage customers to join as well, because it's a great place where they can learn about this feature without having to use it in real time. It's a good opportunity there. I'll also plug that, don't worry if you can't make it on July 9th. We're going to be uploading that recording for you all to the partner portal. And speaking of the partner portal, that's going to have a lot of resources for you. I think I've rattled off a few throughout the call, and you're probably wondering, how am I supposed to remember all of these? They're going to all be dropped into the partner portal. I believe they're already there today. But that's where you'll be able to find some docs, explained articles, including those best practices, or how do you evaluate which type of workflow for which situation? How can you guide a customer or guide them through this journey? Shareable videos, there's a few that'll be coming in the next few days as well. And then a little bit more about our thought leadership around the AI agent action type and just our world view on AI, generally speaking. So those resources will be popping up both today and over the next few days. But when in doubt, you have a team of stars here that are here to help you. This is our Times partnership team, specifically the partner sales managers, who are all here and excited to help you all and talk to you all about agents. That's why we're having this session, was because of the enthusiasm we heard and how interested y'all would be in learning about it. So don't hesitate to reach out to them. They're great resources. They're extremely knowledgeable on this launch and our broader AI offerings. So please engage them. All right, I have been yammering for a while here. Let's see if I missed anything in the chat. I'm sure I did. Hey, Jess.
Hey, Kelly, you did miss a couple of really great questions here. So let me just jump right in and start asking away. So the first question, when can we start socializing agents to our customers?
Ooh, I like that one. I like that you're already thinking about it. Right now, today, we were posting on social media. We have the links to docs and some resources that are externally shareable for y'all. So please don't hesitate. Get out there and share the word and get people as excited as we are for it.
Awesome. And are agents available for self-hosted Times tenants?
Yes, it's available for all versions of Times from now forward. And so people can get in there and start using it.
Amazing. Let me just check. We've got one or two more in here. Are there pre-built prompts available for agents like there are for Times workflows?
Yes, so our labs team has been working on this over the last few weeks, and even working with some customers and our security, our field CISO and our field CIO to build out some agent templates for y'all in the library. So there's some there right now there's a section now dedicated for agents, so you can pop in there and check them out. And there'll be more coming over the next few weeks as well. I'm sure some even submitted by folks on this call, which is great.
Awesome. And then here's another layup for you, and you could give another really great plug. Where can I access any additional resources?
Thanks for the easy one, whoever submitted that one. Yeah, it's all going to be in the partner portal for y'all. So we're going to make sure that any resources we have for our customers, and including some that we don't, like some sales tools for y'all, will be available in the partner portal for you from today forward. So you can pop in and start using those and getting more familiar with this awesome update. Oh, I'm sure you guys have a little bit of a harder question. Does anyone have one they want to add? Are we all excited for Steven's demo next week? Or I think it's 2 weeks, 4th of July.
Yeah, those are the questions that we have right now. See, we'll give it another, I guess, minute or two, or second or two, I should say, see if any more roll in.
All right, yeah. While we wait, I just want to say thank you all so much for the time. I know we ended up not taking up the full hour, but I figured y'all would be pretty busy, and I'd rather get more time with you and Steven demos in a few weeks, 2 weeks from tomorrow. So that'll be a great one to join. Awesome. All righty. I think we might have just a quiet crew. Well, as questions come up, y'all, please don't hesitate. Like I said, reach out to those wonderful PSMs on the Times team that are available for you. You can reach out to me. I'm Kelly at Times. That's my email address. So we'd be happy to chat that way as well. So don't hesitate, and have a great rest of the week. Thanks, y'all. Bye.